There are a couple of new budget optic powerhouses in the market. We've talked about one before, but today we're talking about one that I'm really excited to show you guys. This is the DNT Optics, the One. Now, before we get into the meat of this video, I do want to disclose a few things. I reached out to DNT Optics. They did not reach out to me. I requested that they send this scope, the 7-35, the One, into the channel for review. There has been no money changing hands. There will be no money changing hands. I don't have an affiliate code for them. I'm not an affiliate for any company. I don't do any marketing. So everything you get from this video is going to be my honest opinion, and there's no kickback in it for me whatsoever. And if you do or don't buy this, it makes absolutely no difference to me. So as you can see here, there are two scopes, and looking from back there without a close-up, these scopes are going to look very, very similar. Well, this one is the Arkin EP5 7-35. We have done a review on the channel, and this was a really, really great scope for the money. These are sub $700, a 7-35 with really usable glass. And I tend to tell people that for $600 or $700, you are getting 85% of a very top tier scope and at about a third of the cost. So these are just a really crazy good value in scopes this day and age. I mean, they're really crazy. These are really mixing up the market, and there's absolutely nothing better for consumers and shooters like us than competition. So this DNT Optics, the One 7-35, at first glance looks almost identical to the Arkin 7-35, but there are some differences, and I want to talk about those today. If you're a new shooter getting into PRS or that style of shooting, then you really need to be looking at these scopes, because for the money, I don't think there's anything you can do better than these. Now, optically and functionally, both these scopes are basically identically spec'd. They basically look and function the same. So the difference is, on the DNT, you are getting a reticle that is going to appeal to, I think, more PRS and NRL shooters. You're getting 2/10 subtensions. For a mil scope, that's like 90% of the reticles out there. This reticle is going to be more close to what a PRS or NRL shooter is going to be used to versus the reticle in the Arkin. Now, the other big change is the illumination. Both of these are daylight bright. The DNT is crazy bright, but it's also almost the entire reticle that gets illuminated. That's also another important feature that I think PRS and NRL shooters are going to like. Now, a little closer up, both the turrets work exactly the same. Actually, I'm going to get you a little bit of sound bite here of this is the DNT. Hitting the zero stop there, you know, feels very much the same as this. This is the Arkin 7-35. It feels the same, hitting the zero stop. Basically, the turrets and everything, all the controls feel the same. Now, there is a little bit of difference in the knurling on the DNT. I actually prefer the knurling aesthetically on the DNT. So I think the feel of the controls is a little bit better, although functionally, as far as how smooth or tight or not they are, they feel almost identical again. Also on the DNT, you are getting this little throw lever right here. It's pretty small, but it is something. All right, so we came out here to get some real world use under this. It is extremely, extremely bright today. I'm trying to block this. I mean, it's just crazy bright. It's the first day we've had sun in quite a while. So I will say that what I'm seeing on the monitor for what you're seeing is it's going to blow up those white paint objects quite a bit. But we're going to, let's zoom back to 7 power. The target's kind of what you're looking at there on the reticle. That's 150 yards. And now we're going to come in. There we go. You can see that darkens up just a hair. We'll change our parallax a little bit. And you can see the level of detail we're seeing out there. The camera doesn't do a real great job of picking this up, but does an okay job. But we're going to shoot a little bit, and let's just dial up generically to 4 mils. That should be about 150 yards. We're going to shoot those two little white circles. We're going to see what we can see if we can get on paper out there. Make sure we are still recording. All right, so to me, this is not a lot of magnification. Let's bring this in a little bit. There we go. All right, very, very bright. Let's see what we can do. Okay, That was a center hit, just a little low. Okay, we're going to come up a 10th. Wind is doing a little dance out there. Okay, we're back on the original hit, but very, very usable. Ooh, that was one a little low. We're aim top left. There we go. Hit that one solid. So let's come in to 100 yards to the KYL. Let's go down to about 1.6, 1.7. Again, it's ridiculously bright. It does not look this bright through what I'm seeing. Hopefully I can adjust that in post so you can see what I'm seeing. But I'm seeing good detail. I did not see that miss. I'm going to assume it was right or left. Let's hold right. There we go. A little bit of wind. But I'm easily able to see my hits and misses. Let's go back out here to 150. And I haven't tried this. Let's try some illumination. I'm increasing. Super bright out. Wow, we can still see that pretty good. That's really impressive. It's super bright. And we are still seeing that illumination really, really well. So again, the controls feel good. The magnification ring was a little bit stiff when I first got it. The more I've used it, it's loosened up. It's not what I would call loose. It's appropriate now. It's smooth but stiff, which is what you want. Same thing with the fast focus eyepiece. Parallax is nice and smooth. Again, it feels very much like the EP5 from Arkin, the 7-35. It looks very much like that. You know, basically look and feel the same, but you have the different knurling that we talked about. The windage indicator up here is in a little bit different location. On the EP5 from Arkin, it would be straight ahead like 90 degrees. Well, it's up more like a Mark V would be up here. But beyond that, it's relatively the same. Let's do some shooting. Let's dial. I think we're going to go 4.2. That was because we were a little low at 4.1. And let's just aim. Let's go dead center of this and see what we do on windage. Okay, I think we could have been off right. Let me see. Okay, no, we were off left. Okay, go here. Okay, let's go to this guy. Okay, go to the circle. Hit. Yeah, so absolutely no problem seeing the reticle, using it, and getting good hits out of this. So again, let's go back up in the studio, but for the money, certainly hard to beat. The big takeaway here is whichever one of these you decide to go with, and I think, again, pure S and NRL shooters will lean towards the DNT Optics scope, is these scopes are getting you 80-85% of the way there to $2,000 scopes for like a third of the money. These are Chinese-made scopes, let's be clear about that. But for the money, these things are crazy good. And this is where I would point you as a newer shooter, because it's not like you're just going to want to throw this in the trash can. This is something, even if you decided, if you stayed in the sport long enough, and basically this happens to all of us, you start with one gun, one scope, then all of a sudden you end up with another gun, and then you upgrade to a scope. This is a scope that's going to do really well, and you're going to want to hang on to this and use this. So I would say jumping up to this $600-ish price point and going with the Arkin or the DNT here is a good move, because these scopes for the money are doing a heck of a lot for you. Now, I am not a big-time centerfire shooter. I have not looked at these scopes at 1,000 yards and 1,300 yards. The things I will tell you, because I know there's going to be some of you here, and again, I'm not an affiliate. There's no kickback for any of these scopes for me whatsoever. I got this in for review. I'm just giving you my honest feedback. These look great. If you put these up on a good day next to $2,000 optics, they're going to look very, very similar. Now, at 1,000 yards, do I think this is going to cut Mirage as good as a Mark V or an ATACR? No. Do I think that the coatings on this are going to stack up, you know, when you have sun glare, when, you know, you have all these other issues and all these other things, do I think that these are going to stack up to the $2,000 options, $1,500 options? No, you're paying for optical engineering, you're paying for coatings, and these are things that show up in really less than ideal situations. I do think that these are going to be a very rugged, very good option for you. You know, maybe the materials aren't going to be as good as in those higher price point scopes, but for what most of us do, I don't think you'll ever tell the difference. Obviously, the big thing is these are going to weigh more because inexpensive materials typically weigh more. That's just the nature of the beast. But for PRS and NRL shooters, we typically don't care about weight anyway. So I can pretty easily recommend this scope at its price point, $7 to $35 for $600-ish. And I'm not putting a firm price tag on this because just like the Arkans, these go through different sales, but it's likely going to be $600-ish for either one of these scopes. And I really, really, really like this. Now, this is a short-term review. I was just really excited about it. And after having looked at it, I don't think anything's going to change. Obviously, I've been shooting the Arkans. This feels exactly like that. But I will do a long-term follow-up after a couple months. But again, if you are not in the know about this scope and you're looking at staying that sub $700, but you want to shoot precision rimfire and, you know, you're getting your feet wet, you don't really want to go full commitment and spend $2,000 on an optic, then yeah, you need to look at this guy. Again, no skin in the game for me, but I hope this helped you. We'll catch you on the next one.